fundamentals of a MOBA. Split push is a useful tool to force out situations, to build pressure on bigger objectives.
Or just the very general rock, paper, scissors formula, right? Split push against a comp that wants to stick together, you pull them apart.
Exactly. It really comes down to these simple fundamentals. And Euphoria, it feels like they've got their fundamentals on lock right now in a macro sense. Microly, I do think GameLab have a higher ceiling, but Euphoria are just exploiting them.
Oh yes, I mean at the end of the day, it's a team game, right? Flashy plays ain't gonna win you these matches. Euphoria now on that blue side, just instantly kicking it off with a Kaja ban.
Alright, Kaja ban for the side of Euphoria Esports. It gets the reply with a 1-1 by the side of GameLab. Alright, I can respect it so far. The fact that GameLab wanted to be on red side does give us an idea that they have some sort of plan.
Yeah, farm is also prioritized just like the previous game. And what I'm curious about is if GameLab would switch things up a little bit. So far, still the same, no 1-1, no Kufra. They were tempted to go for a Joy in the previous game, but they decided against that, which also, for Euphoria, they didn't even bother touching the Mincetar, right?
Yep.
That's Euphoria really understanding what GameLab wants and not falling for it.
Now, we do bring up Mincetar because it is a very situational pick. It is not a must-pick, must-ban sort of situation. There's plenty of heroes that just don't care about the overall kit of Mincetar. For example, Esmeralda, she doesn't care. She's like in there, all right, sure, I'm just going to sprint out of there. I'm just going to walk away with a bunch of shields. There's so many different ways to actually handle or build your composition to not require a dash.
Euphoria Esports this time taking away the Valentina, which was what Eugen got played in that first game. And again, we are looking at the Eve again. It was a hero that Aizawa really GameLab just defaults back to whenever it's open. In this case, I wonder if Euphoria Esports are considering it.
Well, personally, I do really like this Valentina ban because no matter what mages you select, the counter picks aren't going to be very vast, and you don't have to play this mirror game against this Valentina. It gets really annoying to be like, oh yeah, he steals the Numenor Blast, or this time he's going to steal the real world manipulation. It's tough to handle it, especially when it's on an on-demand call. Gets into the fight, I am you, instantly I have the ult that I need.
Now, Arlott being the last ban and Fanny instantly making it through Euphoria Esports, first picking it.
Okay. Fanny pick is always great, but how is GameLab going to reply? They already banned out the Kufra. They themselves wanted to get access to Fanny, thinking that maybe Euphoria might default to a Joy and an Arlott, but that's just not the case, right?
Yeah.
So now GameLab, they're definitely going to get a high priority pick here. It could be Joy, it could be Arlott, and then there's so many other things that have value. Real world manipulation, it could be a really good spell here. Eve openers are generally strong. Farsa is a go-to favorite for most mid laners.
Arlott actually banned out by GameLab in that third pick, but Joy is still left open, so GameLab goes for Joy and the Grok. So you do take away something from Euphoria Esports. We've seen, Grok on GameLab's side, at least they do have a tendency to run it XP for her boss. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. It's a good flex for the team, and Euphoria, Franco and carry.
Yep. Again, really great response coming out from Euphoria's side. They have the bloody hunt with Franco to stop Joy in her tracks, especially if they're trying to get towards their marksman in the back line. However, GameLab, on the other hand, they're going to go with a Beatrix this time around. All right.
Is it another indicator of GameLab just wanting UTZ to have a stronger lane over Shizuga?
I guess it comes down to priority, right? Because again, when you're playing Beatrix, yeah, she has a couple of good matchups, and especially when you're up against really short-range marksmen, you have an advantage with the different guns that you have. But the important thing is that no matter what, if Euphoria's goal laner wants to push the lane, it's basically impossible. It only takes one ult from that Beatrix to completely clear the wave and make that first move.
Euphoria banning out the Eve, and they haven't seen the mage for GameLab yet, so Kadita and Glue is the choice. Euphoria at this time banning out the Hellcurt. GameLab does have that first pick in the second phase, but what is this Hellcurt ban do though for Euphoria?
Well, I mean, it's telling GameLab, hey, you want to be able to get a priority pick for yourselves, you want to start thinking about going for a Kadita, by all means, sure, go for it, because no matter what, we're going to get a strong mage. If GameLab decides, hey, we're going to take Farsa first, Euphoria technically doesn't mind it because they still have that Iron Hook to kind of threaten the position.
And GameLab, again, just taking the time, just looking for the jungler, and a potential roamer so far, well, not a jungler, but the mid laner. In this case, Farsa does go through.
the real question here is whether or not Euphoria Esports, do they want to go for something crazy? No, they're going to go for the Swiss Army knife of the mid lane. It's going to be Kagura here. Always a fun time to see Kagura. Very high chance of Euphoria just going to be playing for their gold laner, peel backwards, find the right opportunities to start setting up and chucking them out with a yin-yang overturn. But we'll have to wait and see, right? Final pick for the side of Euphoria. What else are they missing at this point? EXP, they could technically go for Edith if they want to. If they want to sandbag even more, the blue's already been banned out. Same goes for the Arlet. Lapu to threaten that backline. Personally, I would have preferred Yuzong here, but Lapu does the exact same thing.
Yeah, I was thinking a bit of that Fredrin, so Euphoria Esports haven't been laying a hand on that hero. But yeah, I mean, Lapu works just fine. Martis for GameLab to sum up the draft. So get this Martis jungle into Fanny again.
Yep, you want that anti-CC to be right at the very front, to be able to block those iron hooks, to be able to kind of start peeling away the tougher members of Euphoria Esports with the displacement that they have. Fanny in particular will struggle a little bit if she gets caught by those mortar coils into a potential wild charge, but GameLab, it's tough. The front to front feels like a good idea, but it's really all about Aizawa and as well as Havas jumping into that backline and getting a free pick.
Does Euphoria have the same dive potential as they did in Game 1?
I don't think they have the same dive potential, but their composition is a little bit more diverse. It's all about peeling. They want to front to back as long as possible because the longer the fight goes, the more likely it is that Euphoria comes out on top.
Euphoria said that GameLab, well, at least Venogod said that GameLab, they can bleed, and once more Euphoria strikes the first blow. We're going to head into game number 2 and kind of see if Euphoria Esports can continue this dominance over GameLab, right? The Kryptonite has been working very well so far, and GameLab, I don't think we have seen any game where they came even close to beating Euphoria.
Well, so far, and
yeah.
we'll have to wait because, again, it could be that GameLab has been hiding strategies from Euphoria since the very beginning, you know? They could be just been waiting to pull it out at the very end.
It's the conspiracy, right? We go down to lower bracket
Yes.
so we can hide our strats, we see what you're made of, we secure that PH versus PH finals, and then we pull out the big guns.
Well, I haven't seen those big guns just yet, but let's keep an eye on Venogod right now because he's been looking so very good in these games. He continues to get better, gets better and better, and now with his Fanny, let's see how fast he can actually increase the tempo of this game.
And he's already been doing that even on that Ling. And we saw how fast a Fanny can really snowball, right? Turn it into an avalanche even. But when you look at that stat, this is not the bloodiest jungler by any means, right? I would argue that Takenaga probably has highest stats overall, but Venogod is efficient.
He's extremely efficient. More so, he is extremely consistent with his line of plays, right? You need him to set up? Sure, I can do it. You need an assassin? Sure, I'm the guy to do it. He is a man of many traits, and if things work out well for him, this will be a relatively quick game. There's just so many ways for Euphoria to actually pick off their opponents this early on.
What is YoshiGod looking to achieve this game?
Well, YoshiGod is looking to affect the side lanes for sure, and that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, let's get the stun onto Venogod, stopping this Fanny in the track just a little bit. Well, GameLab is not able to prevent him from taking this gold crab anyway, so Venogod not really losing anything overall, but I feel like the eyes are going to be on this jungler matchup, right? You have Fanny, who's going to try and play fast. You also have Takenaga on the Martis. When he starts get going, he becomes a big threat also.
Oh, he does. But keep in mind that Venogod and YoshiGod will be working very, very closely with each other because, again, the mid lane is a little hard to control unless Kagura gets at least one good trade against the Farsa. And once that happens, that's when you see Ryujin start walking up more confidently pre-level 4.
Again, GameLab having that early lane swap just to keep that wave for themselves. The boss already using that ult as well. Has got ready on the side, does have that ultimate. Not gonna unleash it, just an attempt to steal on the turtle. Takenaga secures it.
Yep, GameLab, they gotta take whatever neutral objectives they can get as early as possible, especially against Euphoria Esports, who are the ones who want to play for this earlier stages of the game, right? That's to be expected. GameLab, they need a little bit of time, they need their first items before, and most importantly, they need level 4. They're very cooldown dependent, very ult dependent, which we might see here down by the goal lane.
And we're seeing the application of the Beatrix as well already. Just wiping up the entire wave. There's no way to push, to crash the wave into a Beatrix. And Dolman is doing the same thing as what what Yoshiga did in the previous games, opening up the map on with this Grok. So far, they have not been able to find this Fanny, and that it looks like a point of concern for GameLab.
Yeah, I think they're trying to change up the strategy here. They're trying to change out how they kind of reveal information.
Oh, Yoshiga does have the hook, instantly forcing the flicker from Aizawa.
Okay, that's great to see. That means GameLab have another opportunity to come down to the gold lane to try and punish Shizogod.
Vos, once Rujin God cannot find it, does use the Vengeance to keep himself alive. GameLab mirroring the movements of Euphoria. So far, they have been able to keep Euphoria in check, but Vos doesn't really have the health to deal with his God.
Oh, Headsgod is able to zone out Havas from this entire wave here. That's a really bad feeling, but it doesn't mean that he's going to be out of the game, as the rest of GameLab just hovering around this bottom side. This is their strong side, and they're always going to try and punish, especially since Shizogod doesn't have his flicker. He's super vulnerable to these dives.
And in the meantime, Euphoria Esports, they will respond in kind by cutting that top wave also. You proxy that, a couple of that gold plate. GameLab playing just even slower than Game 1, honestly. This is the slowest we've seen the teams play. There's a lot of caution.
Well, that's because it's not on the onus of GameLab to increase the tempo. It's on Euphoria.
Vanguard being pressured in the jungle.
Perfect.
And just force download as well. And Havas using the ult, but forcing Vanguard to use the Retribution. So GameLab have a good chance of getting the turtle. We even see kind of the Bloody Hunt used on the Yuktisi, but there's no follow-up. Yoshiga just give his life up for nothing. His God is around. Vanguard able to get the reset as well. So GameLab can't comfortably contest the turtle.
Wow, what a fat blunder coming in from Euphoria. I didn't expect it out of them, and there must have been a miscommunication somewhere, because Yoshiga even utilizing his flicker. Such a valuable battle spell for a support like Franco. This could get a little tough here.
Who's going to get the turtle? Takenaga will secure it easily. But they do find Dolman, forcing him to flicker away. And Euphoria Esports can't find any kills. Takenaga has a chance to re-engage. The Mortal Coil is there, but none of them under the threshold for Decimate.
Yeah, while all this is happening, Havas is able to get some pressure on that top side, and he should be able to secure... Yep, there we go. Secures the turret up top side, and now GameLab finally with the lead against Euphoria Esports. This is the position that they've been looking to be in. Yeah,
and when you can have this Joy kind of holding her own in the side lane, GameLab can focus a lot more of their attention trying to get this Beatrix online. Her voice just being a complete nuisance. No one from Euphoria can catch him.
Yeah, they see two people in the mid lane, instantly run down bot.
Now they just utilize everything to get rid of this Franco. No Bloody Hunt. GameLab gets another tier 1.
Yep, that's what you want to see. GameLab now going to increase the tempo. Now keep in mind, GameLab are very ultimate dependent, so when you see all those green dots on the right side of your screen for the side of GameLab, that's when you know they're trying to look to make a play. But in terms of gold earned so far, both Havas and Yuktisi are doing a great job. Venogod, he's speeding up fast, but Shizogod nowhere close to that top 5.
Oh, and he also was pushed out that bottom lane multiple times, right? GameLab relentlessly paying that bottom side a visit. But one struggle that GameLab has always been facing is to take down this mid-tier 1. Although, looking at Euphoria's draft, the defense isn't going to be as rock solid as Game 1.
Absolutely. High ground defense is going to be quite the struggle for Euphoria, so they can't afford to be losing their structures like this. GameLab on the other side, they don't mind playing it real slow now. They can take their sweet time.
And the Vanguard actually trying to turn it onto Havas. Gets the vengeance out of him.
Oh, okay. I definitely thought there was going to be more cables to commit to the fight, but they at least get the vengeance out of Havas, which is great for Euphoria, because now when it comes down to the full-on team fight, if they can somehow bait out the Feathered Airstrike and pray that Aizawa doesn't have very good aim, they could look to turn around a fight.
Both his God and Ryujin God was able to get away from that, but GameLab once more just piling up around this turtle, the third one of the game, to secure all the objectives, like you mentioned. Havas once more running that distraction on that mid side, and Euphoria Esports just does not have enough resources to contest every single aspect of this game. GameLab will get the third turtle.
Wow, such great game sense coming out from GameLab. They noticed 3 people down by middle. They know, okay, top side's going to get attacked. Somebody's going to cover the bottom side. Nobody's going to be touching the turtle. So they make an instant call and protect the top tier 1 just to slow down Euphoria even more.
And the fact that that turret is still standing means GameLab has bought themselves more time. But the Iron Hook actually able to find Dolman. Dolman goes down, but Euphoria ends up losing 3 in return. Definitely not worth it.
That was one hell of a response coming in from GameLab. As soon as that iron hook landed, everybody instantly went kill mode.
And Aizawa forced the flicker, but Veno got no purple buff, no steel cables to follow up. GameLab in a massive lead, but check out this replay.
I mean, look at this, right? Instantaneously, they get a huge pick off here. Takenaga is in the perfect position to actually get off the Ashura's Wrath, to line up the members for a feathered airstrike into the Bennett's Rage, making it basically impossible for Euphoria to get out for free. Look, all of them have their battle spells. They had no time to react to it.
And he gets free Decimate Recess also, right? Takenaga 3-0. And we talked about if this Martis gets ahead, he's going to be a big problem. Now GameLab, they need to figure out how to even kill this Martis in these fights.
Well, Shizo God, we're looking at you. We're looking at him to actually be the one to chunk him out fast, but it can be tough because Shizo God, he's really struggling to get in on these fights. No matter how far he pushes up, there's always a threat to deal with. If I walk too far up, Yuktisi could go into Nibiru's Passion. If I walk too far backwards, Dokman might actually find the right angle to wild charge me. If I'm way further back, Havas is going to chase me down till Kingdom Come with his vengeance. And even if you're thinking, okay, maybe he needs to be in the mid-range, right? Aizawa pops on the feather airstrike. There's just problems after problems after problems.
And he also runs the flicker, right? Just to get a bit of space. GameLab basically have all of the grounds covered, and you can see the iron grip that they have. 3.5k goal lead, 9 minutes in. Lord is going to spawn, and GameLab, they're ready to contest this. But Takenaga and Havas finding Ryujin God. Havas trying to run him down under the tier 2, just making sure that he's low enough to not be able to participate in any of these fights. Takenaga, I believe, did he take the purple buff? Probably not.
Yeah, I think he's in a really good position, but Takenaga is in an even better position. Like, he is not falling behind at all, but he isn't getting that EXP lead that we expected, right? He's still, 12 to 13 as Venogod is able to get this split push on, and this is what you want to see from Euphoria, trying to be proactive constantly.
Both junglers didn't have retribution, so GameLab just went straight for the Lord. Just back up from Euphoria Esports, just slightly too late to the bot side, so that conceal play not working out. GameLab have a Lord to work with.
Yeah, and it looks like Venogod still has his still was able to get the purple buff earlier on, which is great for him because now he's able to split push into the side. But with the Lord pushing in, he kind of doesn't have a choice, right? He could try to stagger the wave, maybe top side seems the most likely, but GameLab, they've already taken precaution. They're protecting these waves. They have 3 members hovering around mid lane, and in case they do see this Fanny actually go to that top side, they can immediately...
Oh, what a hook! That is important to get rid of the Grok. Now the pushing potential is going to be a bit more neutral from GameLab. Better airstrike is used! Venogod wanted to go for a one-shot to Aizawa, but Yoshiko once more gets the hook on Takenaga, but he does have the Ashura's Wrath. Good enough though. Euphoria Esports stopping this push from GameLab.
Ooh, really nicely done coming out from Euphoria there. I would say, was it GameLab's mistake? I wouldn't even say that it's GameLab's mistake there. Yoshi got huge with that iron hook. So far, finding the right targets. And unfortunately, it's not a bigger target like Yuktisi, but taking out Dokman is already a good plus, especially since Euphoria Esports are the ones behind.
Yeah, and they protect all the inhibitors, right? Nothing much was lost. Only the tier 2s on the side lanes, but GameLab now they have set up shop on that top side jungle. Dongman in the forefront as well. They're gonna check with the umbrella. Dongman once more, this time prepping, make sure he doesn't get hooked.
He learned from the first time. He's got his power of nature off cooldown. And now he's got to be very careful here, right? Especially for Venogod, he just needs his purple buff, right? That's the one thing that's limiting his impact in that game. When he has purple buff, something happens. They lost the buff. GameLab lost bottom tier 1 to him because they lost out a 50-50 retry on that purple buff once more. But looking at that top side, we're seeing a very odd movement here as Yoshigod is very far away from the rest of his team, trying to find holes in GameLab's defense.
Yeah, and no, he is not the only person that can walk up and check these brush, right? Even has to throw in the iron hook. Does have help from Ryujin God every now and then, but he has a big task to do. GameLab ready to set up on that enhanced Lord on that bot side.
Yeah, and GameLab, they just want to freeze out these waves, right? They want Euphoria to walk out of their base, to feel confident to grab this gold. And when they do, that's when GameLab is going to pounce. 20 seconds left. They want to get a little bit more aggressive. They're revealing Havas on that top side. They're also revealing Takenaga. Walk on into the Lord's purple buff.
Yeah, they want this purple buff. Take it away from Venogod and limit what he can do. It's just going to be crucial. They even use the feather airstrike just so Takenaga can get the buff.
Yeah, now, again, GameLab, they like this. They want to get into this team fight with Euphoria Esports. If Euphoria sit on top of the Lord first, GameLab has a significant advantage because everybody's all pumped up together.
Conceal play from Euphoria again, but you have Dortmund right in that brush. He's going to be kind of the brick wall, blocking Euphoria away from this objective. Power of Nature used as well. No Iron Hook from Yoshigod means that Euphoria can really get a catch easily.
Oh,
not even with the Yin Yang overturn. This could be a flip angle. Vanogod.
This is not good. Yoshigod can technically walk up, lock down Takanaga, and everybody could just look to burst. But no,
Takanaga actually sees Vanogod. Lowered down to 8,000. He's going to try and turn onto Vanogod. Trying to force all the cables away. Takanaga recommitting onto the Lord, and just good patience for GameLab.
Whoa, on a knife's edge. Both sides don't really want to commit here. But the problem is that Euphoria needs to recognize the timing, that Aizawa didn't actually have his Feathered Airstrike in that fight. And if they wanted to use it earlier on, they already did. So they have to abuse those timings a little bit sooner. And that's why you see GameLab, they're purposefully doing these neutral objectives slower to wait for their cooldowns to finish timing out. And then they have ways to punish their opponents.
And this time GameLab would be able to get an even stronger push. Mid-tier 2 goes down, you have the Lord coming in on top, or Euphoria are busy dealing with the bottom wave and can't even fully clear it out as well. GameLab looking to really extend this lead, try to crack that base. Should be able to do so with the Feather Airstrike. Preemptively use Havas straight into the mix as well. GameLab cracking that base open.
Okay, Feathered Airstrike for an inhibitor turret, that's not bad, but if GameLab gets 2, that's even better.
Takanaga walking forward, Dortmund is there, his god forced to use his ultimate, they get the wild charge instantly! Get rid of the Yoshi god, no more Franco, but they did lose 3 in return! Euphoria Esports looking to wipe all of them out in an instant! Havas, the last man on the run. Euphoria's gonna leave him as a messenger, but a turnaround on that high ground.
Beautiful play coming in from Eugen God. Again, if there was a replay of that, oh, that would be clean. Oh, speaking of the devil, right here, keep your eyes on Ryujin. He sees Heads God in the angle. He flickers forward with the help of Heads God as well. Shizo is able to get it, but it's that big setup with the Yin Yang overturn, the initial immobility, and as well as the fact that Eugen switches places with his umbrella, is able to buy just enough time for the rest of the Euphoria's members to walk up, get a whole load of damage, especially their late game insurance, Shizo God, absolutely blowing up the rest of GameLab.
Yeah, that is the Swiss Army knife from Euphoria Esports, really put to work. And just like that, Euphoria basically taking away all the lead that GameLab has at 1.5k, 1.6k, very, very minuscule.
Exactly, and that's the problem, right? Like, you can't get sloppy with your positioning. As much as you want to be close enough together to respond and follow up upon your opponents, you never want to be too close so that the yin-yang overturn gets more than one person. That extra bit of value is all Euphoria needs.
Now they want to get revenge onto Ryujin God. They use everything on him.
Okay, I don't know why he's so far up without the help of the rest of his team, but I guess they get zoned out by Takanaga as well as Dokman. Didn't expect him to get 1v1 against Havas as well as Aizawa, but this purple buff, so very important for Venogod. You can tell that he is so limited by it. Whenever he has it, he's like, oh my god, I'm free. I'm an actual hero. When he doesn't have it, well, I'm just here to exist.
The purple buff is going to come back up in 10 seconds also. But I think Euphoria did get the one on GameLab side, so they are not too worried about losing the one on their end. GameLab instantly starting on this Lord. Euphoria Esports, they must contest this. It's very, very crucial that they do so. But the Lord, the health depleting very fast. His God already got info. Yoshi got there as well. Can Euphoria get there? Time! Battle God! Just a millisecond too late. GameLab gets the third Lord.
He was so close. He was so Venogod was so very, very close. He was cutting it thin. He knew that he needed his purple buff up. But GameLab, they should chase this technically, but will he get out in time? Oh, it just missed ever by just a hair. Just a hair.
These small margins. But GameLab can't get comfortable just yet. You have the Lord, but they've gotten a taste of what Euphoria can do on that inhibitor defense.
It's a game of setup and positioning for both sides. For Euphoria Esports, they're just waiting for this feathered airstrike to come out, and once that's done, they somehow have to start thinking about Dokman on his counter engage.
Oh god, not really sure if you want to try this. He's going to instantly regret that decision, but was able to get away. Lord coming in on the top side, feather airstrike used early as well. This time GameLab more cautious with dealing with this Kagura. Yoshi got even forced to flicker as well. That bottom inhibitor not looking too healthy. GameLab have a good chance of breaking this entire base open, but look at Venogod. He's seeking for an opening, but he couldn't find it. Now flicker forward, his god gets the stun. Doman too far in. Havos also losing his immortality. The front line from GameLab collapsing, and they're forced to retreat.
Yep, nothing they can really do there. Really great abilities. Well, a great play coming in from Heads God specifically. Now, Veno, obviously, he's doing God's work. He's trying to pull attention to himself to not allow GameLab to walk into the base and get a free hit on that crystal, right? But then the follow-up coming in from Heads God, seeing that Veno had no more energy and no more cooldowns to actually commit to this fight, throws himself into the middle of it, gets that kill onto with the help of his teammates onto Dokman, and deterring the rest of GameLab to continue the follow-up.
And Euphoria Esports hanging by a thread. Only having that bottom inhibitor up. Yoshigod, he's opening up the map a little bit more. They get the jungle resource on that bot side for themselves. But I would say that at this game state, goal lead doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, the goal lead really doesn't matter. Maybe only for the fact that they want to change out the immortalities to other useful utility items. But in the meantime, this is a dead close game, 7-7. This is what I was expecting game 1 to look like.
And Euphoria Esports, they have been in this position many times, right? We've seen them come back from a 10k deficit against Marhalika. Exact same situations, no inhibitors, and they still pull it off. So GameLab by no means are out of the woods. Even with a strong lead, we've seen how Euphoria just find these openings to punish them.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the damage leaderboard. Venogod and Ryujin God. I'm surprised Ryujin is there. I definitely thought that carry Shizo God was doing a lot more, but again, they are leagues ahead of everybody else.
And even then, Shizo God, he is untouched. He's 3-0-1 entire game. Fourth Lord though, GameLab once more having control first, but this time a bit more spread out.
Yeah, GameLab, they need certain conditions to be met. Number one, they need to know where exactly is Shizo God, because he is going to be a big problem to the front line of GameLab. And even if they expand their big ultimates against the front targets, they can't deal with the consistent damage from Shizo God over a long, drawn-out period of time.
Havos, he planted himself on the top side. And before Esports, they only show his God, and he has the immortality. This Lapu Lapu is taking up so much space. They're funding Takenaga to the bot side, and now he realizes that there's danger. Flicker forward into a bloody hunt. He needs help instantly, but he goes down. Immortality brings him back up. Takenaga cannot go down, but Shizogod melts his health bar. Yoshigod gets away. Shizogod, though, getting caught. Winds of Nature not enough to protect him, and Havos just runs him down. And the Winter Trunket keeping Havos alive. So at the end of that, GameLab coming out with a win.
They got 4 flickers and a kill out of Euphoria Esports. The best possible situation here with an overextension coming in for the side of Shizo God. I mean, they tried their absolute best there, but GameLab's response, this is exactly what they wanted. They wanted Takenaga to go down. He had immortality, so he's worth all of that gold, but they made sure they got that trade back, and more importantly this time, they have that side lane pressure to start this bout all over again. Ideally, they would have been able to get more out of it, but the fact that they got 4 battle spells, all of flickers, as well as Shizo God, more than enough. Takenaga, he's going to be back up in 2 seconds.
And unless Yoshigod lands a godlike Iron Hook, they don't have much means of engaging, right? You can't let Yoshigod throw his body unless he has the Winter Trunk, and also one of the most important resources from Euphoria Esports getting taken out. And Venogod even losing the purple buff to Havos.
Oh no, he's too low. He doesn't have enough HP. He's going to try anyways.
Venogod can't get there in time. The wild charge, even canceling the steel cables. And GameLab, if they want to go for the chase down, they certainly can. Ryujin got right there with them. And Venogod out of the woods. And GameLab now in firm control of the game.
Yep, they shouldn't take a fight now. Wow, that damage. Whew, Ryujin's got to be a little careful there. Yuktezi really hurting. Now getting his Winsome Nature. Once again, he had it earlier, but sold it off after being expended on Heads God, who flickered on top of him. But this just shows that battle spells is such an important resource, right? As soon as we see Euphoria Esports use all of their battle spells, it's really tough for them to feel confident about walking into the Lord Pit.
And every time Venogod cuts the wave, Havos just shows back up, clears the wave, forces it in. Now all the waves are synced up. GameLab, they're ready for that final push. or at least potential final push. We'll see if Euphoria Esports can hold this.
Yep, this might be a little tough. God, he's got to be very, very careful because we are going to be seeing this Feather Airstrike targeting him.
His God just having his health bar completely melted, but able to get away with that all. Last inhibitor gone down, Havas straight to the back, but gets instantly bitten. He will lose his immortality, but can Euphoria finish him off though? Havas still has health to work with and able to dash away just in time. His God right in the front. They don't have that tank anymore. No Iron Hook, no cash. GameLab presses conceal. Shizogod jumped on instantly with the wild charge. They have found him, but Shizogod buys distance, able to back off, and Ryujin got once more catching Aizawa. Yuktizio also falls. Euphoria, they're not done just yet.
Oh my goodness, and even at the brink of losing this game, Euphoria finds an opportunity to get 2 back. And now they're going to start chasing the members to stop their recalls. Doesn't find anybody just yet. Now this is a free purple buff for Euphoria. Now, as much as we would like to believe that Euphoria has bounced back in this game, the gold lead does not matter. We're already past the 60,000 mark. Usually by 55, we stop caring about gold. GameLab, on the other hand, are going to struggle.
Uh-oh, this is going to be important. Ryujin God cannot make it out the wall from afar. Oh, Dolman might have just saved his team. Ryujin got out for a minute.
Talk about timing. Talk about timing. 2v3 now. 2v4.
Gonna bite him. Can they get rid of Dolman at least? Havas trying to help Takenaga from the side. Dolman trying to run away. Havas ends up getting shredded. Respawn timers are infinitely long, Gideon. 60 seconds.
Oh man, GameLab, they just need to pull back there. They already found the play onto Ryujin. They don't need to do anything else. There's no reason to get into bouts at this stage of the game because cooldowns are death timers are so very long, and there's such little resources on the map already that even if you want to claim them just to buy you utility items later on, it might not be worth it if you end up dying.
And Euphoria Esports might have a good window. All those flickers are going to come back up around the same time. Yoshigod is going to be walking first. Instantly catches that wow charge. Loses immortality. But look at Shizogod. Look at this guy. Oh, he's rat-a-tatting the health bar of GameLab. Takenaga, he's out of here. No way for him to survive. Yoshigod. Oh, he is doing a fantastic job as well. Shizogod saving the team. Venogod goes down. Both junglers out of the picture. But Euphoria Esports, they now have a tank of a carry.
That's one way of putting it. Carry right now is in a great spot, right? She's going to deal more damage than the entire GameLab army combined. And that's the problem here. GameLab is so dependent on these hit-and-run tactics. Use all my abilities, get the combos down, pull away. As soon as they don't have those combos, Euphoria instantly put their foot on the gas, looking to try and catch as many GameLab members as they can, with Shizogod being the forefront of that damage.
And this is no longer just normal game of Mobile Legends. This is a war of attrition. Almost 26 minutes in, I believe this is the 5th Lord. Yeah, 5th Lord of the game.
Yep, and this 5th Lord is going to be the most important one. It's so strong already, and every time Lord dies, it scales even stronger. Right now, GameLab, the only advantage that they have so far is the fact that they can actually, split push. And I think that's something they should actually consider at this point in time. As strong as Venogod is, Havas, he doesn't mind pulling attention to himself.
And Euphoria Esports able to preserve that purple buff for Venogod. So Venogod will now have a good time frame to be effective again, and despite losing all inhibitors, Euphoria Esports have been able to really shove their wave out far to give themselves room. But GameLab already starting on this 5th Lord. This is crucial. Yoshigod sees all of this happening. All the flickers are available except for his God.
Are they going to repeat history all over again? Are they going to force Yoshigod to flicker on top of Mardis, lock him down with the Bloody Hunt, and then get comboed into oblivion? Let's find out.
Havas is keeping Venogod occupied though, and not in commit. Venogod now arriving at the scene a bit earlier. Feather Airstrike is dead. They're gonna just flicker right onto Aizawa. He gets caught. But they need the Lord. The Lord is very low. Venogod walking forward, looking for a red triangle. Takenaga gets the Lord. GameLab once more just slithering away with the objective. They're gonna get this kill onto his God, and Euphoria Esports just could not get the most important objective of them all.
That's so frustrating, but I also think that GameLab could have just ended that game. Like, Havas was in a really good position to actually try to go for that back door, but he doesn't have that extra physical damage that Yuktizio has that could easily cut down the crystal, so he knew he would run out of time and made the decision to join the fight at the end of the day.
God gets a pull. Havas is there with the vengeance, but he's losing a lot of the health. Venogod committing. Couldn't find him just yet. But this is the big boss right here, the Lord. 35,000 HP. Another hook, another bloody hunt. Oh, Yoshi God has found Dolman. Shizo God, he's gonna use that Winsome Nature. He's gonna push Takenaka away as well. No one from GameLab can end the game. We go again, Gideon.
Oh my God, you really gotta be kidding me there. That definitely was an opportunity for GameLab to make something happen, but this just shows that the consistent damage, not needing to rely on their ultimates to clear out these waves, is becoming a huge problem for GameLab, because so far, Euphoria Esports, they only give crumbs to GameLab when it comes down to combos. Like, oh, here, take Yoshi God. Do your full combo on him, man.
He has been landing some sick hooks. Oh, by the time the next Lord spawns, Flicker is going to be back up. And Aizawa can't be caught like that again. Euphoria Esports is just really committing. And you see his God, he's just alternating between between the immortality and I believe, is it the
immortality is the Winds of Nature. Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh, Flicker again. Uh-oh, her boss. This is the slippery target you want to kill. Immortality gone. Hey, gone. Getting the stun on the edge as well. Forcing the vengeance out. Euphoria Esports, they're all very low. Takenaga has a very juicy reset opportunity, but just can't get close. Yoshi God, he's going to put his body right in front, but he has the immortality. Can he hold on for long enough? Vano God looking for an opportunity as well. Ryujin God right there with him, but they will have to surrender Yoshi God. And now Flicker, wow, charge, but Ryujin God actually able to live through that. GameLabs, now they have the number.
All right. Now GameLab, what are they worried about? They're probably worried about the yin-yang overturn. That's definitely going to be obvious. But I think more so, they're a little scared of Heads God. And considering how effective he's been against Aizawa in this matchup, right? If Aizawa flickers, Heads God, he's going to flicker guaranteed.
And even Shizo God, right? His damage on this carry is unreal. Euphoria Esports, they need to hang on for 30 seconds. And the flicker forward. They get the immortality out of Shizo God. This is enough for GameLab to finally rush down the crystal. Almost half an hour. And GameLab posts their very first win against Euphoria in a long, long time, but the set is not done just yet.
Oh, thank God here. Because again, time after time, we're expecting Farsa to take out this carry. Just when does he have the opportunity? Finally sees the angle and punishes her. It took that long to find an